When you think mechanics, I bet one of the first things that pops into your mind is a flip reset, or maybe a ceiling shot, or it could even be a flick. Even if you can do these in training, you might be struggling to hit these types of shots in a real game scenario, and that's because of the missing skill that no one really talks about: the first touch to set it all up. Getting the perfect first touch on the ball is something a lot of players tend to gloss over when practicing these mechanics. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what a perfect first touch looks like for a setup to any mechanic you want, so that hitting those double flip reset musty flick double taps in game starts feeling a bit more natural. Now, a first touch can come in many different variations. You can touch a ball at high speed, you can touch it at low speed, you can touch it to the left, you can touch it into the air, or we can touch on this channel's sponsor, Thrustmaster. I wanted to introduce you guys to the newest addition to the eSwap controller series, the eSwap S. I've been playing games on a controller practically my entire life, starting out on the Nintendo 64 and all the way up to the Xbox One, so needless to say, I've gone through a lot of controllers in the past 20 years. Hands down, without a doubt, the eSwap is the absolute peak of all the controllers I've ever used, and I'm not just saying that because they sponsor the channel.
Bruh.
With super precise joysticks, finding that perfect angle to get the first touch you want will be that much easier. Not to mention the tactile mouse click feeling face buttons, having a response to your input makes building muscle memory more efficient. Imagine mechanical keyboard, except mechanical controller. Make sure to click the link in the description to find out more. Pretty much every mechanic you can think of stems from the perfect first touch. Let's start by defining what I mean by a perfect first touch. It's a touch on the ball that controls the ball's momentum and keeps it closer to you than anyone else on the field. It also puts the ball at a speed that's slow enough for you to catch up to instantly, but fast enough to execute the play that you're attempting. By getting this type of touch, you maintain all of the advantage on a play by forcing your opponent to be the one to close the distance and commit if they want to challenge the ball, all while having an option to hit it over, under, or around them if they do decide to challenge instantly. This is usually a touch you get while staying grounded before the ball bounces, because once the ball bounces, you're now adding to the ball's force and hitting it away from you rather than canceling it out and keeping it close to you. The variables that go into a perfect first touch are as follows: your car's speed, your car's direction, where the ball makes contact with your car's hitbox, how fast the ball is moving, which direction the ball is moving, and a secret trick that I haven't seen anyone else mention in a video before. Now, I'm gonna get a little technical in some of these explanations, but bear with me because it will all tie together in the end. The first step to getting the perfect first touch is understanding your hitbox and how each part of it affects the ball when touching it. I'll be explaining using the Octane's hitbox, but the concepts apply to every car, it just slightly varies based on each hitbox center of mass. If we look at the hitbox from above, we can visualize how each part of the car affects the ball's speed in any direction when you touch it there. On the Octane, the center of mass is between the visible engine and the vortex generators. The exact center of mass of your hitbox doesn't influence the ball forwards, backwards, left, or right, it only pushes up. You can actually get the ball to sit perfectly still on your car if you manage to put it perfectly on your car's center of mass. Everything in front of the vortex generators accelerates the ball forward, with the acceleration getting stronger the further forward you go. Everything from the engine back decelerates the ball backwards, with that deceleration getting stronger the further back you go. This is important to understand for later when we talk about how the ball's speed and direction affects what type of touch you need to get. But first, let's talk about how the speed of your car affects these spots on your hitbox. It's fairly simple. The faster your car is moving in a given direction, the more power your hitbox will generate that way. Let's call the amount of power you get from these spots while not moving your default force. So if I make contact with the ball while not moving at all, it applies default force to the hit. As you build speed forward, your hitbox will gain strength in that direction all the way up until you go supersonic. Once you're supersonic, your hitbox will have what we'll now call supersonic force. So if I make contact with the ball at full speed, it will apply supersonic force to the hit. Now that we understand how to manage the amount of force that we apply with our car, let's talk about figuring out how much of that force to apply to a ball in any given situation. The amount of car force we need to cancel the ball's force depends completely on the ball's speed and direction. The first factor is the ball's direction. The more direction change we're going to be applying to the ball's path, the more force we need to cancel it out. If the ball is moving with us, we don't need to cancel out much, if any, force. If the ball is moving directly against us, we need to apply force equal to or greater than the force the ball already has. Next is the ball's speed. The faster the ball is, the more force we'll need to cancel in order to gain control. If the ball is moving slow, we can use close to default force. And if the ball is moving super fast, we need close to supersonic force. Practice catching the ball at different speeds and in different directions. Get a feel for where you need to be making that first touch on your car in order to get the ball to move in the direction and the speed you want following your touch. The final, but possibly most important secret trick for controlling a ball for the perfect first touch is managing your acceleration. When trying to get a catch that keeps the ball close to you, one of the biggest and most common mistakes people make is accelerating through the touch. The problem here is that when you accelerate through the ball, you're touching the ball with your force plus acceleration, which often launches the ball too far and too fast for you to catch up to it in time. Instead of accelerating during the touch, we want to try and absorb the ball into our car. We can do this by releasing gas and boost right as the ball is about to touch us. Imagine you're outside catching an egg with your hands in real life. I know for us Rocket League players, touching grass is hard to imagine, but just do me a favor and try your best. If you try to catch an egg while swinging your hands towards it, it'll create an impact that shatters the egg completely. But if you catch the egg with your hands swinging in the same direction like you're cradling it, your hands will absorb the egg's momentum and keep it under control in the catch. Something similar can be done in Rocket League. If we release gas and boost right before our hit, we won't be pushing through the ball as much. Rather than us hitting the ball will hit us. Now that we've absorbed the ball's momentum, we can accelerate immediately after the touch and catch up with the ball that we just controlled. If done correctly, this touch should put the ball on the most optimal path to execute your dribble, flick, power shot, air dribble, flip reset, or whatever advanced mechanic you plan on scoring with. For more advanced players, you can also apply this egg cradling technique without letting go of boost and gas in case you can't afford to lose speed leading into your touch, or you want to fake the opponent into thinking a big hit is coming. This can be done by tapping the brakes immediately before you make contact with the ball so that you keep your speed into the catch, but still generate that cradling effect to absorb the ball's momentum and keep it close to you. This is the secret. It's how we control the force, set up our super sick mechanic, but more importantly, thanks for watching.